Welcome! I did it, I reached Mythic, I did it much earlier than I expected, in only 5 days and 14 hours of gameplay, and I did it with Lurrus mono black deck, which I will show you, and then there is the last game of my way to Mythic, the epic and very interesting game, which is showcasing the use of the mono black Lurrus deck. So try to wait for it, and now let's get to the deck.
And this is the deck which did it and got me to Mythic. This deck has really good performance versus aggro decks, and it isn't as much bad against other decks like Control or Emergent Ultimatum, and it might get enough value to outvalue the mid-range decks. And it's lots of cards and they somehow works together. There is of course some graveyard recursion. We have cards which can bring creatures back from graveyard, Call of the Dead Dweller and Agadim's Awakening, and these are really good ways how to get back into the game. And of course we have the companion Lurrus, which can also bring cards back. And then we need ways to fill our graveyards, and there aren't many in this deck. There is only one mill effect, this Myri Triton, and otherwise we are dependent on our opponent and our things to die, and we might help it with the village rights when necessary, or just ending our own creatures with our removal. The removal, that's the second main part of the deck, and that's removing opponent creatures with enchantment, which can bring back with Lurrus, and then drawing cards with Hateful Eidolon, or creating 2/2 zombies with Ephemia the Cacophony. And when bringing cards back from the graveyard, there is one extremely good payoff, and that's Arcfiend Vessel. It brings back 5/5 for only 1 mana, so that's great. And because we might get mailed by our opponent, I also play one with one Fiend Artisan, just to have the opportunity to bring large creature when the game takes long. We are not in the snow, we are playing castles. I think that works better with this deck. That's it. You need to try this deck to find how these cards works together. There are some mini combos hidden in the deck. One very nice is Village Rights with Arcfiend Vessel and Malkiel's Rebirth, because you can cast both of these to the Arcfiend Vessel and it gets back from graveyard, so it's 5/5 Black Demon token with flying, and also you draw 2 cards, so really nice combo. And then there are others, and it's mostly killing our own creatures. It might be token from Ephemia's the Cacophony, and you draw cards and then bring the enchantment back to create other 2/2s. Really good way how to get Hateful Eidolon to the battlefield is by sacking another creature with Fiend Artisan. We have a lot of creatures which we want to die, especially the Arfind Vessel and Serrated Scorpion, so it's quite good to do. You can bring it back or bring it from your library, and then you can kill your opponent's creatures. It's quite hard to play. You need to time your effects wisely. You don't need the Hateful Eidolon to be at the battlefield too early to get killed, to get bone crushed, and you want it to play in the same turn as other enchantments to increase your chance to draw the cards which you need. And then you need hold the Void Rites when some important creatures might get exiled, especially the Lurrus the Dreamy. Then if it's getting exiled, it's a bad sign. So in some matchups it's better to hold the Void Rites and really play the Lurrus as the last resource. It also makes sense when you play Lurrus as the last resource, you can bring other creatures back. In aggro matchups, it's extremely valuable to just destroy their creatures. You might draw cards while doing it, or you might not, but you have also a lot of lifelinkers. You have Eidolon, Arcane Vessel, and Lurrus, so you can gain quite a lot of lives, and of course my Triton gives you 2 lives too. So these are the ways how to keep being alive, and by the time the Lurrus hits the battlefield you most likely outvalue your opponent. When fighting the mid-range decks, there are 2 main mid-range decks in the meta. One of them is Dragon. When playing the Dragon, you play it very similar to Control, you just need to get to the battlefield quickly, and you might minus grabs their Bone Crushers, but it won't help you too much, you just need to kill them faster than they kill you. And of course 5/5 Flyer can block their Dragon, so that's amazing. And against the Gruul, you just need to remove their slower creatures. It's not a good matchup for this deck, but if you can manage to do it, you can get more value than they, and you can kill them sometimes in time. Of course, if they Ember clear you at turn 4, that's the game. And against the Emergent Ultimatum deck, you just need to play your creatures. You will use Mogis Favor as equip for your creatures, which isn't the most often use of this card, and you can equip the Eidolon or the Scorpion just to get more damage, and if they don't have a sweeper you might win, and even if they have, if you time your things correctly, and even if they exile your graveyard, you may come back with Ephemia by bringing back the enchantments, or just with Lurrus and other creatures. Not very likely, but the game might not end. So that's it. I highly recommend to try this deck, and now I will show you the last game of my Mythic climb. I hope you will enjoy the game because it's really good show of this deck, and you will see how to play it and how to use all the possibilities you have. So enjoy. So only one game remaining. Are we able to do it? So that's possible last game. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, quite a good hand. There is no companion for the opponent, so keep it. let's see. Okay. So that might be the Bone Crusher Giant. So let's save our Eidolon. Keep our life total. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. So let's see. And that's game. Wow. That's it. That's it. We've done it. Wow, Mythic. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's great.